Good evening and welcome to our Wednesday group meet. And I welcome all the participants and especially all the guests who have been invited by our participants. And let me just welcome the new people in. So welcome Tony, Nitesh, Sanjeev, Smriti, Rekha ji, Amit ji, Preeti ji, Harsh, yes, and Nidhi ji, Kirti ji, and Kawan. And we have some guests, Mr. Vivek, Shushri Sarayu, Garima Singh. Yes, so people who have invited the guests, if they can introduce, it will be good so that we can welcome our guest officially, and then we will move on with our session. Yeah. So who has invited? I think Amit ji. Amit ji ने कुछ guests को invite किए हैं. So if you can introduce the guests, or if the guest wants to say something, like who invited them, they can introduce them by the time Amit ji will be back, and maybe someone else who has introduced or invited the guests, so they can also say something. So who would like to share?
Hi, I can share. My name is Garima.
Yeah.
And Amit ji has kindly invited me for this. He's been inviting me for some events in past, but could not join them. I'm very happy to be here with everyone. And I work as a scientist. I'm also a volunteer with the Art of Living organization. So I teach meditation and yoga and other counseling workshops in my free time. And I reside in Indirapuram, Delhi NCR.
Thank you, Garima, for joining. Thank you very much. So Shashi ji, मैं और आप हम तीनों इंदिरापुरम में हैं, and Garima is very actively involved in everything which Art of Living teaches, and that's how I got in touch with her and vice versa. Thank you very much for joining.
Great, welcome and welcome to the group, and I can assure you we'll have a great time today, great experience sharing, and which is going to benefit you a lot. So that is my commitment for you, right? So please join and enjoy. Yes, Amit ji, you would like to introduce somebody else whom you have invited?
Hi, Sushri. Hello. Good evening, Sushri.
Hi, this is Sushri. Amit actually invited me this evening. We had a discussion, and I didn't ask much. He said there is an interesting session. I didn't ask much. I said yes. He said you might be busy by that time. Maybe that's a dinner time. I said no. When it's listening about something nice, and I am always open. So I am here to listen and learn. That's all I can say about me. Amit and me know each other since 2012 or maybe 11, yeah. And hence I don't question much. He knows me and I know him very well. So I'm open for learning and looking forward.
Great. Welcome, Shushi ji. Welcome.
Great.
And we have Mr. Vivek and Tishu Kohli also. So who has invited them?
So
Yeah,
Vivek,
hi. This is Vivek. Good evening, everyone. I have been introduced by Amit ji, and I have also invited Tishu ma'am to this platform. For the first time, we both are joining today.
Okay,
There are a
great.
couple of others also whom I have invited. I'm just waiting for them to.
no, Divyajit is not joining, Vivek. I just got a message. He got busy, so Divyajit will not be able to next time.
Okay, no issues. So I'm a construction and project management professional, basically into project management field of real estate and urban infrastructure projects. So that's how I got in touch with Amit ji, and that I'm here. I'm a spiritual seeker and always believe in doing good. And
Great, wonderful, Vivek ji, and welcome Tishu ji. So having invited all the guests, and I'm sure I'm committed that all of you get a lot of value from this program, and see how your spiritual journey can be further, moving forward in the spiritual journey. Right. So now welcome all the regular members. Right. So how are we? How many of you are excited? Yes. Okay. Great. And we all know what is the topic today, right? Today we are going to touch a very important topic, which is basically what? Who is going to share that for me? Who read the agenda for today? Who knows the topic? And he is very
What
excited
kind
about
of
the topic.
stress happens when it is work from home?
Yes. So we are going to talk of the techniques to cope stress of fear and anxiety at work, and how to improve your emotional well-being, and how is that important in the present times, in the COVID times. So that is what the discussion is all about today, right? Okay, so without wasting much time, let's straight away get into the topic. So who would like to first share how life has changed in this pandemic time, and how you are coping up with the changes that is happening in your life, and how much stress is coming, and how you have overcome that, or you are in the process of overcoming that, and especially related to work first, and then in general about your whole life, right? So who wants to share?
Okay, I
Sir,
can share. Okay, please go on. Somebody else was saying something.
That's
Shashi ji.
fine. That's fine. Yeah.
you can share first. It's okay.
Go ahead.
No, Shashi ji, please share. I would like to listen.
Okay. So the thing is that life has actually changed a lot during these times. Earlier, we used to go to office, then just had to do our office work during the office hours. But now it is not only the office work, we have our household things to do. And at the same time, kids around, like, why are you on call? Why don't you leave that call and sit with me, talk to me? So these are the things which keeps on happening in between. Apart from that, yes, at times it's like very easy going, but sometimes it's little stressful also, because when you're doing something important and all of a sudden at home you get to know that you have to do this, or maybe your child is after, you like to spend time with him or her, then definitely sometimes it becomes stressful.
Right. So very good point that Smriti ji has brought up, basically that in this COVID times when we are working from home, right? Earlier the work and office were separate, so there was a lot of demarcation only mentally, and you have to be present in both the situations and handle. Now you are there in both the situations, like everything is at home only. You are sitting at home, you have to take care of family, your children are around, and bosses' phones are also coming, right? So this is an important area where you can actually increase your stress area, right? So Smriti ji, let me ask you, this is the situation. Now, what different did you do to cope up with this stress, and how successful you have been in this area? Because I know that you're doing professionally very well, and you're working in an organization which is very demanding work ethics, right? So have you come across? How have you overcome this situation?
Okay. So initially, actually, yes, I faced a lot of problems. I was not understanding what to do, what not to. Then I realized that what happens is that whenever you are doing work from home, so people do not realize that you also need a break. You need your lunch hours, you need your evening time with your family. So what I started doing is during my lunch hour, I just used to tell my boss, now I am on lunch for the next 1 hour. Please do not disturb me. And if anybody is going to call me, I'm not going to take that call. So I sit during that time, I spend time with my child having lunch together, and then go back to my work. And at the same time, I've started explaining my child that when I'm doing my office work, either you play or you do your school homework, so that in the evening we get time to spend together. So initially he also never used to understand this, but yes, few days, I would say rather 10-12 days, whenever I'm working, he sits himself, and if in case he can do that homework on his own, he does on his own. And he keeps on telling me, okay, I've completed my work, now I am going to watch my TV, now I'm going to play. And he does that the entire day. And he's also not disturbing me now, because he knows that there are fixed timings when my mother will come and she'll spend time with me.
Absolutely perfect, Smriti ji, and that is the absolutely great learning also for all of us, that you fixed your working schedule. You have a fixed working schedule, and you communicate that. Most important, you have a fixed schedule, but you have to communicate that so that others are also aware. where you're taking calls from the customer, you're taking calls from your colleagues. It's very important that you follow a strict discipline in the work area, whether you're operating from home, right? So family time is separate, work time is separate. And if you communicate that effectively and convincingly, and you believe in it, and then your productivity and effectiveness also goes up, and your communication is perfect. So everywhere there is a cordial atmosphere, and there is no burnout and heartburns. You can say that, right? Good job, Smriti. Very good. Yes, Garimaji, you wanted to share something?
Yeah. So some of the challenges which I faced working from home, I've been working from home since March 2020. Never gone back to the office, thanks to our organization, which takes care of employee well-being very well. So they never wanted us to go back to the office because all of our work can be practically done from home. But this was first time in my life I ever worked from home like this. And this was the first time in my life which I spent so many hours with my parents in home, which was a big challenge. In addition to that, setting up a home office which takes care of my posture was challenging in the beginning, and getting used to working from home was difficult, like Smriti ji also mentioned. One thing which helped me was company's flexible work hours. I work across various time zones, so sometimes I had to work during my lunch hours, or my lunch hours mainly, which I happily accommodated, because they had given us flexibility to work as and when we want. We can just and there's no strictness, we don't have to be in meetings with videos on and prove that we are working. So that was a big relief, because deliverables are being delivered. So they are there, and I delivered, and everyone delivered. And informal chats and conversations with colleagues helped. We used to celebrate birthdays, cut the cake, or celebrate farewells online. I also conducted mental health workshops by myself, and also office conducted many such webinars and events, which actually made us very happy work-wise. So in that sense, I'm lucky. But from my side, what did I do? I took it easy. Initially, I was stressing out that, I have to now work from 9 to 5 sitting at home. But then I realized, no, it cannot happen like this. So, I got a lot of time, because I saved 1 hour traveling to work. So I took it easy and still finished my work on time, and took short breaks between. I think taking short breaks helped. Even 10-15 minute nap in the afternoon helped me. And I continued with my yoga classes and everything to start my day in the early mornings, which helped me to feel energy the whole day for other work.
Absolutely great. That is wonderful sharing, Garimaji, and there's a lot of learning to be shared with others, right? And if you have just listened to what Garimaji said, two important things, very, very important things. Number one, how to connect with people when you are not face to face with them. Earlier, we were going to office, we were meeting our colleagues, there were a lot of cheers, hi-fi, and meetings happening, smiles around, right? Now that physical proximity is not there, but that doesn't really matter. How you connect with somebody is a soul-to-soul connection, I would say, right? And it can be done even on a virtual meetings. Now we are having a virtual meeting here, and we are all connected here. So it is just a mindset that we can only connect with people when they are physically around. We can connect very well with people when they are, at a distance, and celebrating birthdays, wishing each other, connecting with each other, and then having compassion and, what they're going through, empathizing with them, and sharing your joy and sorrows both. So that gives a very strong connection. So strong bonding, that is a very important thing in this particular time. So whether you meet them or you do not meet them physically, that connection has to be there. That is number one. Number two, you are keeping yourself fully charged. Like she says, shared. I'm doing yoga, I'm doing meditation, I'm doing supporting others also. So first of all, you are maintaining your emotional well-being, and then you are supporting others' well-being. And that very well justifies the topic today that we have, importance of emotional well-being in this life, for not only for yourself, but for all the people in your life. So that was wonderful, wonderful, Garimaji. Thanks for sharing that. Yes. So, yes, Amitji, you want to share something? Go ahead.
Yeah, so it is about this session. I think there are a lot of new people, and I think it requires a maybe one-liner introduction about you also.
Yeah.
And I think either you want to explain or your our old friend Sanjeev Bhai wants to do it. Uh, I think people need to know what you are, because I've not been able to tell individually. For example, my friend Mayank Mishra has just joined. My mother Pushpa, she's here. Sushri, Garima, Vivek Walia. So I think one line of about you as well.
You can start, Amitji. You can start with yourself.
No, no, I don't. I think the best is Sanjeev ji would be best to introduce you.
Okay. Okay, great. I'll ask Sanjeev, over to you, Sanjeev. So if you can introduce yourself, and then if you can also say a bit about me, so then I will take it on.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, Amitji. And as you see my name, I am mind coach Sanjeev. I work in the area of mind, basically. And me and Shashi, we are good old friends since almost 2 decades now. And we gel a lot. So Shashi is a person who is an expert into the energy world. I've always seen him the way is not audible. Am I audible? Okay, perfect.
There is a little
So-
fluctuation in your sound. So maybe a little fluctuation. Maybe you need to come closer to the mic.
What others say I am audible.
Sure.
Okay, done. So Shashi is one person I know who is an expert into the area of energy world, and I have seen his energy level, consciousness growing high every time, every year, every month, every week, every day. So that's I would say. So Shashi, great to have you in our life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjeev, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. So just to build on that, I'll just say, I have a total, I'm an electrical engineer by qualification. Total experience is over 30 years, 15 years into marketing and sales, and 15 years into training industry. And during all this time, I was very passionate about spirituality and healing, which went on since 1997. So I've been going through different levels of spirituality, just because I was very passionate about it. It was more like a my own self-development. And I continued my journey in the corporate life as a corporate trainer, and I was doing all trainings and coachings and counseling. I myself am a life coach and a corporate trainer, so I was doing that. And during the pandemic, what happened was all the opportunities suddenly came to a halt. There were no organizations asking for trainings, no corporate trainings were happening. And suddenly I found the need of, people are into anxiety, people are into stress, and people have, life has completely thrown out of gear, and they were in all kinds of problems. And that is when I realized that I need to do something as a contribution to the human life. And the whole concept of spirituality and healing came to me like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And not only this life, for all the lives to continue, this is what I want to do. So that was a huge breakthrough for me. And suddenly I found myself doing something which I was passionate about for the whole life. So suddenly there was no heartburns now, and there was no problems of any timings. So I say that in corporate world, you need to, like when you're working, you need to have some timings. I am there 24 hours into spirituality and healing. So that was, something very magical, and I created magical and miraculous results in my life and in the lives of people around. And this whole programs that I'm doing here is only a result of the divine intuition which I got during this time. And that is what the journey is, and that is what Sanjeev was relating to when he said month after month, week after week, and day after day, the consciousness is going up. That is only because of my connection with the divine has gone to such a level that I directly get download from the divine what is to be done, how it is to be done, everything falls into place, right? So that's a little bit about what I was doing and what I am doing. There's a huge lot of difference, and my spiritual journey has gone very high during this pandemic time. So I'm actually in a way grateful to pandemic for making me realize my true nature. So that's what I would say. Now there are many people here. I would, maybe here, maybe in the world. They say that in pandemic, what happened was their whole, whatever they were doing, their business completely was frozen. They didn't know what to do. And actually, I feel that is the time when we should get connect with the passion of our life. If you can just look at what is passionate, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate? What is the passion that is driving you? And suddenly the whole world will open up. It will be a new paradigm to operate in life, and you will create magical and miraculous results in life. So that's what I think he wanted me to introduce myself. I did a lot more than that, right? So just the flow of thoughts that came in. So that's about me, and that's what I'm doing now, right? Okay, so now who wants to share? Sanjeev, I would want something to you to share on the topic so that we can have more insights about it.
Okay, great. So let's come to our topic, what Shashi had planned for the day today. And we all know out here, like Garima shared, Smriti shared, that the times have been tough this pandemic time. And not only for the corporate people, I found as a coach that a lot of people who were non-working, house ladies, okay, even the men, everybody, all of us face different sort of challenge. I can only say कि जहाँ pandemic से पहले लोग बात किया करते थे, कुछ समय तो बिताओ मेरे साथ, अब उसके बाद हो गया भैया जाओ मेरे से दूर। वो कुछ समय जो है वो दूसरे टाइप के challenges और anxieties लेके आया। So Shashi, while we are talking about this and you have been doing corporate sessions also on this thing, I would suggest why don't you take up directly from here and carry on. We are there together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great, Sanjeev. Now, before I move on with the sharings of the other people, I would like to just distinguish something here, right? Now, when we talk of stress, okay, now in the pandemic time, we are aware. If you think of what is happening in the outside world, what is the outside world giving you? It is full of fear, worry, anxiety, and grief and sadness, right? Because people out there are experiencing fear like nobody's business today. Nobody expected, this kind of fear and anxiety to be a prolonged thing for 15 months continuously. People are suffering. People have gone through it firsthand. They have suffered from the infection, disease, gone to the hospitals, come back, or somebody in their family have experienced it. Their friends and colleagues have experienced it. And some of them have actually, the souls have left the body and moved on, right? So there is a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of fear, anxiety, worry, and it is not something which is imaginary. It is a real thing which is happening. People have experienced it. So outside world is full of negativity. One word, if I say, is full of negativity. You open the news channel, you read the newspaper, you talk to somebody, it is full of negative message coming to you, negative energy coming to you, right? So obviously, we will say that the stress has gone up. How to cope up stress? That is how the actual world is giving you. The world is full of stress right now. But let me tell you, outside world is only giving you the force. If you see the definition of stress, or if you see the equation of stress को हम कैसे define करेंगे? How do we define stress? Stress is equal to force by, you can say, the resilience or the withstand capacity. Correct? That's how we learned stress, I think, in schools, right? बाहर की दुनिया में force आ रहा है, pressure आ रहा है, जो भी situation है, that is increasing. So obviously, that means outside world, the pressure is increasing day by day. Now, if the withstand capacity is less, then the stress is really going to go high. It is like, stress is equal to, you can say, force by resilience. So if resilience is decreasing and the force is increasing, you are gone, because stress will go suddenly blast you. So the only way to cope up with stress is the outside situation is not in our control. Yes, what is happening outside cannot be in our control. So no point looking at the situation outside. It will come down whenever it has to come down, but definitely not in our control. We can't do much about it. We can make efforts, but then the results are not in our hand. If we look at the situations right now, like what is the thing that we need to do now? If fear is around, first thing we have to do is take precaution and be in action. And we all know what are the kind of precautions that we need to take, right? Wearing the mask, social distancing, and then taking the vaccinations. And if somebody is suffering from this infection, then making the efforts in the hospitals, getting the treatment done, and supporting them mentally, emotionally, so that they can come back and bounce back in life. That's what we are doing, correct? So this is all as an effort. Outside world, what is the inside world doing? If you get panicky, if you get worried, are you going to serve the person better, or you are going to make the situation worse? Just think about it.
Make the situation worse.
Worse. That means if your resilience is less, denominator छोटा हो जाएगा, तो stress का factor बहुत बढ़ जाएगा. The only way to survive and serve people today is you need to have very, very strong emotional intelligence level. Your emotional well-being has to be right at the peak to handle that kind of a pressure which is coming out from outside, so that our stress can be in the manageable limits. You getting the point? So if stress is a ratio of numerator and denominator, numerator is not in our control. So the only thing that we can do is increase the denominator to such an extent that the numerator has no impact on us. Getting the picture? तो बाहर की दुनिया से जो कुछ आ रहा है आने दो, एक्सेप्ट करो उससे पहले. अपनी कैपेसिटी अगर हम बढ़ाते रहेंगे लगातार, and there are different ways. Garima ji just shared a few ways that she's doing. That is where we need to work on. We don't have to work on stress. We don't have to work on the numerator, which is outside world. We have to work on the inside world, which I keep repeating in all my sessions, right? बाहर की दुनिया में क्या है? वस्तु, व्यक्ति, परिस्थिति. अंदर की दुनिया में क्या है? मन, बुद्धि, चित्त, अहंकार. Inside world को इतना strong बना लो कि outside world has no power to disturb you. तो परिस्थिति divided by manosthiti is stress. That's how I connect with it, right? What is stress? If you ask me, stress is a ratio of paristhiti, the power of paristhiti, and the power of manosthiti. Now it is up to you. Paristhiti se ladte raho, apna sar phod loge, you will get injured, you will get hurt, and you will be in bad shape. Leave the paristhiti, look at the manosthiti. Manosthiti को इतना strong बना लो कि परिस्थिति आपको ज़्यादा असर नहीं कर पाएगी. तो थोड़ा सा हिलोगे लेकिन स्टेबल हो जाओगे जल्दी. And that is where your stress will be in your control, and you can help not only yourself but all the people in your life. So the first thing that we need to do for emotional well-being is check your belief systems and change your belief systems to empowering belief system. This is the first step that I will say, from my personal experience, right? So the first thought, before I ask for sharing, just let this first thought go in. We normally say, because of the situation, I got this thought, this emotion got triggered. And I'm making a very, very, radical statement now. I am the creator of all my thoughts and emotions in my life. I am the creator of all the thoughts and all the emotions in my life. This is the first belief that will help you to develop your manosthiti. You will have more sharings now, and I will give you more beliefs on it. But the first thing that we need to do, if you ask me how to handle or increase your emotional well-being and how to manage the stress, the first thought is convert or transform your limiting beliefs or disempowering beliefs into beliefs which are powerful, empowering beliefs. Correct? All right, so let's have some sharing now, so that how many of you could connect with what I said? Anybody wants to share? Yeah, so who would like to share? Let's have some sharing so that I know that whatever I have said has landed in the right way. Who would like to share?
I think somebody who's joined for the first time, to encourage them, maybe.
Yeah, anybody can. They can always add it.
Tony has been trying. Tony is raising hand. We can start with him, and then anybody can join.
Anybody? I'm not able to see everyone here because काफी लोगों के videos off हैं. So anybody whose video is on, who wants to share? Tony, you want to share something?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, as you already know that I am from a family of educationists, and almost for the last 55 years, my family has been involved in the work of schooling. So my younger sister and my younger brother, they look after the senior secondary school, and I am looking after the primary section here. But since this pandemic started in March and the lockdown started off in 2020, we have been facing innumerable problems, one after the other, especially how to sustain our expenditures, because the expenditures aren't moving anywhere, whether it be the property tax, whether it be the electricity charges, whether the water charges, or whatever. And especially the most important thing is how to sustain the staff that we maintain, the teachers, the employees, their salaries. It's been a roller coaster all these months, and honestly, it is becoming more and more difficult with the passing days, because this thing doesn't seem to be coming to any end. Uh, Initially, let me tell you, the Delhi government took out a rule that all the schools have to just stick to charging monthly tuition fees. Now, the sort of salaries that the senior secondary school teachers are getting is not something which is, even explainable at this time. But we had to suddenly take a cut and, talk to the teachers that we cannot pay you your full scales. If you want to stick around, you stick around. Otherwise, you can think of another option. And in that scenario, what happened was that most of the teachers realizing that they could not get a job anywhere else, they stuck around with us. But some of them did leave. And on the contrary, we thought that the parents would understand, but I don't blame them, because they themselves took a beating and on a solid hit economically. Uh, Most of them lost their jobs. Some of them who were in businesses, their businesses got shut down or got affected. So they found a lot of reasons to, come up with a lot of appealing facts, like we are not in a position to pay your monthly tuition fee also. So we've been coping up with this pressure to a very, very great extent, and how we've been managing and how we've been, coping up is, uh, I have no words to explain. But yeah, the stress was immense. And thank you. I would say thank you, for, especially on a personal front of for myself, that Shashi and Sanjeev came into my life in January 2020. And I started, at least coping up with the stress, because you all helped me with a lot of meditation, with a lot of spirituality, with a lot of affirmations that we've been doing. And as Garima ji also said, that, doing your daily routine and, making a specific routine about your lifestyle is very, very important to keep yourself away from what is happening on the outside world. Until and unless, and let me be very honest, it is not an easy task that you know what is going on outside, and then to keep yourself, silent and balanced inside. It is a very tough job. It is a very, very tough job. But unfortunately or fortunately, thanks to the spiritual angle that we've got in our lives, we've been able to succeed.
Good.
So I can only say that, we all of us are going through a very tough time, and we really, really need to be spiritually inclined or somehow peaceful from the mental side, that we can handle the stress.
Thank you, Tony. That was wonderful sharing, and a very, very powerful point here that he has made. And like people have in their businesses, in their salaries, suffered a huge financial loss. So one thing is because of the health concerns that we have, right? And the second is, even if you are not suffering directly from the health issues, there is another big hit that is coming in the way of your profession, your business, your income. So that's wonderfully clearly brought out in Tony's sharing. how to manage the salaries of people who are working for you, and your own income has come down now. How do you survive? But Tony, I'll bring here 2 points. One thing that you brought up very nicely is that, like which you were just explaining, the outside world is not in your control. Focus on your inside world. So that's what you did, and that is how you could manage the stress. But that has not changed the outside situation as such, correct? That situation will not change. You have to adapt yourself to a new innovative solutions. Like earlier, we were having corporate training face to face. Now we are having all on online platforms, right? So there is a lot of innovative solutions which have been we have been made to adapt. So first of all, accept the situation, adapt to the change, find innovative solutions, and then move ahead in whichever way it is possible. Because see, this is wartime. When we are talking of wartime, it is not the time to look at lifestyle. This is a time to save your life. In a wartime, in a crisis time, you have to first look at life. Life has to go on. Lifestyle can wait. Right now, the lifestyle is such, we don't travel by flights, we don't travel by train, we don't travel by metro also. All stuck at home, right? Lifestyle has really gone for a toss. But if the expenses have come down, the income has come down, the expenses also have come down. So don't worry, lifestyle को थोड़ा सा manage करना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा सा नहीं, बहुत ज़्यादा manage करना पड़ेगा. Income कम हो गई है, expenses कम हो गए हैं, whatever it is, manage it. Right now, the life has to go on. That is more important. So maintain your emotional well-being, survive through this crisis, and when things will be back, सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. कंट्री का भी जो इकोनॉमिक स्लो डाउन हो रहा है सब बढ़ जाएगा, आपकी भी प्रोस्पेक्ट्स बढ़ जाएंगे. जिंदा रहोगे तो लाइफ में बहुत कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटीज आ जाएंगी. जिंदा ही नहीं रहोगे तो फिर लाइफ का क्या करोगे? लाइफ इज गॉन. So right now, this is a war time. We should look at life and not life set. That is only one punchline that I would like to share. Yeah. If you can connect with it, take it, accept it, move forward in whichever direction you can. That is the right way to move on. Right? So, Tony, did I make some impact?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right, so who else wants to share? Anybody else? Yes, Smriti, go ahead.
Sir, actually, when during this pandemic time, it was not only stressful for us, it was even stressful for our kids. I would say initially they started with the online classes. My son was in class 2 at that point of time. It was last year when this happened. He was into an habit to look at the blackboard and do the work. And whenever the teacher writes on a blackboard, they use the school script. But when they show a presentation on the screen of the maybe mobile or a laptop, then it was actually not a school script. It was altogether a different form he used to see on that particular system. So it was very difficult for him. He always wanted me to sit beside so that he can do his work. Mama, please tell me what is it, what is that. Though he understood the alphabets well, but since every time whenever we used to send click a photo and send it for the correction, teacher used to say this is not the school script. But then whatever child sees, they copy that immediately, right? So at that point of that time, the child would not understand whether it's a school script or not. Whatever is shown on the screen, he would definitely copy that. So it was very difficult for me to explain him, though you see a different font out there, you have to use your school script while writing things. And at that point of time, since his classes were around from 9 o'clock till 12:30, that was my peak hours of my work. I used to have my own meetings and I cannot leave them. What to do? And not only this, my child actually always he would be like, I want to answer what is happening in the class. So he used to unmute and answer when the teacher used to say that this is the question and I will ask the child and that person only has to answer. He would immediately unmute and answer without listening to the instructions. And every time teacher used to call me and complain, he always answers. I don't get to know whether other children has understood or not. So it took me almost 1.5 months to explain him, don't unmute, don't do this, don't do that. And at one go, I am actually doing my work. On the other side, I have to keep an eye on him that he is not unmuting and answering till the time teacher is asking. And then
Yes.
sudden I realized that it was not only difficult for me, it was even difficult for him. He is not able to get in touch with his friends, though he sees them on screen. Then anytime any child comes with a toy in the class, he would say, I will also show my toy, because he has shown the toy. So everybody will bring their toys and show. So I have to teach him a lot of things, that you do not have to copy others, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. So it
And
was very stressful for me as well.
yes, it was stressful. It was all new for everybody, right? It was new for him. It was new for you. It was new for everybody. In fact, it is new for many people here also. That like कब mute करना है, कब unmute करना है, अभी भी बहुत बड़ा issue है हमारे group में, right? So why look at a child? He will go through all that, and it's a learning process. धीरे धीरे आ जाएगा. So that's fine. But if that was disturbing you, see, if you're getting disturbed, then something has to be done about it. So either you try to control the outside world as much as you can, otherwise you increase your inner world को इतना strong बना लो कि ये छोटी-छोटी चीजें आपको disturb ना करें, इतना strong बना लो, and then handle the correct way. Correct?
नहीं sir, then I realized कि मुझे क्या करना है. What I did is, whenever ma'am used to send any kind of homework, I used to actually log into the screen. I used to put the homework there, and I started telling him that look from there and do it in your notebook. And then whenever he used to write any incorrect form, then I used to tell him, see, there it is written like that, here you have to write like this.
Correct.
And it was a lot of homework for me also.
Right. So basically, we were not only doing work from home, we were also doing, teaching from home. That's fine. So you have become you are learning, and then you're teaching to your children. So that is another important aspect of life that is happening right now. That's good. All right. So anybody else wants to share something, some different aspect or some different point to bring forward to discuss?
Actually, somebody from new team. I think Nidhi would like to share something. Nidhi, would you like to?
Yes. Please go ahead.
No, just a second. Not really, but since now you were me too, I would love to share, because I beg to differ from the concepts which have been talked about here right now by the participants. Because in my case, I did not experience stress. I mean, I've been having 6 to 8 hours of lectures right now. Also, just finished my lecture at 7 and joined this meeting. So probably because the thing I'm doing is what I'm passionate about. I love doing my work, so there was no stress talking about the work from home. However, work at home was the biggest stress possible, because otherwise I would always step out of my house for my lectures, my college lectures. But now kids are used to, मतलब उन्हें समझ नहीं आता मम्मी घर पे है तो मम्मी तो मतलब omnipresent है, सारे काम भी कर सकते. They would not, that difference line was not coming in. If I'm at my work, okay, I'm in the drawing room, but I'm not available for you. So the biggest stress in my case was not really my work related stress, but how to put that routine in the house. And thankfully, I would say my kids are not small. They are college goers and a high schooler. So in that case, my kids were the ones who actually got the routine in place. So they knew the timings are this. They knew 2 o'clock is the lunch time. Mummy for 2 se 5 available nahi hai. So they knew. I mean, they would ask, kab class pe jana hai, ye karke chale jao. Doorbells I couldn't answer. So I think it's all about how the people around you also adapt to it. Just you adapting wouldn't really bring any change around you, right? Because the people, if they stick to the same behaviors, your stress level remains the same. So in my case, I was lucky that everybody around me, my husband also, so they all were like, we all were kind of, weaving into routines, which kind of, we were not defending, we were coping. We had a coping mechanism in place, probably, I would say, maybe if I'm wording it correctly. So that's what my experience has been. And as you said, utilize your pandemic time for things you're really passionate about. So all these 4 decades of my life have been in academia, hardcore academia. So this 1 year gave me a leeway where I did things which were close to my heart. And I'm happy. This has been the most productive year of my life, I would say. Thank you so much.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Nidhi. That is great.
Shashi Dhar.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Amit.
I mentioned that one-liner that we spoke about today in the morning, that work-life balance and stress is required for people who are really, passionate things that we just spoke about.
Absolutely. That is what we were talking of, that, see, the problem with people when they are working is that most of the people are doing things which they are not really passionate about, or which they don't love to do. So obviously there is a lot of, stress and with relationship with the boss and colleagues and all the other things will come up. They will start weighing on your head. But when you are really, really passionate about your job, then all these things are, the timing goes out of the window. You are ready to work for 24 hours. Just like I was sharing, I can do healing 24 hours a day, 365 days a day, year, absolutely no problems. So when you are passionately following what you're doing, there is no question of any kind of, stress. Your passion will overcome everything else. That is number one. And number two is that if you are doing something as a routine job, which you are not passionate about, my advice is develop something as a passion for yourself and follow that for at least half an hour or 1 hour every day. When you are doing something that you are passionate about, you will be full of enthusiasm and energy, then use that energy in your work. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, because not everybody will have that choice, right? Then find out what you're passionate about. Spend some half an hour, 1 hour for a daily. It could be singing songs, it could be playing a guitar, it could be, simply swimming, or simply, like whatever comes to you. Follow that passion, follow that hobby, follow that passion. For Tony, it could be, like singing and recording a music and putting it on a YouTube. That is high for Tony. I know that, right?
Yeah.
I know him for, right, Tony?
Yeah, absolutely.
So find out something which you're passionate about. Do that as a half an hour, not more than that, because obviously you have to focus on your work, right? But keep your passion in focus. Do that half an hour, 1 hour every day. You will get so much of enthu, and that enthu and energy you can put it into your work, so you can overcome all the tensions there. That is another way of how you can generate passion and love for your work. Correct? So that was something I was discussing with Amitji, then
So
that came up.
So I always give this example of artists, musicians, painters, etc. We never come across a word from them where they never say work-life balance. They never say that I'm stressed out because of work. Maybe people who've gone into very heavy commercial music, etc., they may say because for obvious reasons. So I always say that in a situation when you are at a juncture where you have to choose an option in career, if in case a situation where we are not earning and we're looking at changing the complete canvas of our profession, then I think it makes a lot of sense now to look at the childhood passions and the teenage passions that we had, and if they can be monetized, then I can bet that work-life balance is a thing which will not exist as a concern area ever in life, and hence stress related to it.
Absolutely perfect. That's a wonderful observation, and if that can be there, yes, Sanjeev, you want to share something?
And so I just got two lines just now, what Nidhi shared and what Amit shared from both of them. And one, as we always talk, that if you have a passion, it's great. And second, what Amit said, a very important line for me to understand, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस की ना कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड के लोग जो एम्प्लॉई हैं वो बात करते हैं, जो क्रिएटिव लोग होते हैं जैसा अभी अमित ने बोला आर्टिस्ट वगैरह, उनको वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस का कॉन्सेप्ट जरूरत ही नहीं होती, बिकॉज दे हैव ऑलवेज बीन लिविंग इन देयर ओन वर्ल्ड ऑल टुगेदर. अमित, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर शेयरिंग दिस लाइन. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Great, that was wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of clarity and a lot of insights for everybody here. Anybody who wants to share something? Nobody जिसने अभी तक share नहीं किया है, कोई share करना चाहेंगे? Anything you want to share from your life, from what you have heard people share now, something opening up for you, anything? Anybody who wants to share? Okay.
Maybe you can talk.
Hello.
Hi, this is Mayank Mishra.
Hey man, thank you very much for joining. Thank you, brother.
Okay.
Thank you, Amit, for inviting me as well.
Welcome.
I would like to say good evening. I would like to share here, and sorry for my appearance. I just came out of my shift and started this session. So in the last year when the pandemic was going on, in my company, there were a lot of activities which were derailed due to that. And by which there were certain constraints for the, say, managers, from the owners, everybody. And all the employees were stressed. And to top it all, the stress was to a extent that we were reducing salaries. and this is a live scenario which I have faced, because being an HR, I was probably what you call it as the medium to do it. So I was one of them facing it as well as doing it as well. So there was two-way stress going on for me. After a while, when probably when I was sitting at my home and probably thinking of what to do exactly, salaries were being reduced and everything was happening very fast. I happened to see my certificates. To be very frank, I just opened everything and I started looking at my certificates. Two things came to my mind actually, and I relate to your just before you said that probably you can go back to your life and probably see what's positive in it. And the studies which I've done, basically I'm a law graduate, then a HR professional, started certain modules and I started teaching students online. And to be very frank, the kind of experience I have gained through probably the years of experience I have, and with the courses, many professionals do not have it. And I am not probably boosting myself, but just trying to say it. In that way, I was instrumental to probably give lot of trainings to people free of cost as well. No cost, nothing. And it was like people were started to give me some kind of one-liner things, something complimentary things that boosted myself, that brought my stress levels down, something for the society. Now, that was something which started happening up.
Passion.
In that same scenario, same thing, few people got acquainted with me due to all these activities which I was doing. And then came my next job. Now, work from home can be very stressful. I agree with most of you all, everybody, I can agree. But to be very frank, this job which I've got, and I hope that I have discussed with Amit as well, this is only because this is a work from home. Otherwise, my head office is in London. If I am in London, I am getting this job. If I'm not in London and this pandemic would have not happened, that company would have never hired me. So I take it as a different positive. I might be sounding a little rude, and I'm very sorry for those who have lost their jobs. But after getting into this job, I probably got almost 50 odd people hired. So I take it as an positive that at least I've been instrumental in giving 50 other people jobs which might have been stressful. So that is what I wanted to share.
Absolutely, absolutely great, Mayankji. That was wonderful sharing. And one point that has beautifully come across in this sharing of Mayankji is, see, when we want to be successful in life, we often relate to success as something, like having a goal, making efforts to achieve it, achieve that goal, and have that sense of, worthy goal achieved earlier, something great I've done, and then you are successful. So it could be in health, it could be in wealth, it could be in relationships, whatever. So you have a goal, you go for it, you achieve it. Hello? Yeah. So that is one thing that, we look at success. But this success, if it is not accompanied with contribution to human lives, it looks very hollow, right? So what I'm trying to say is that when I achieve a success in life and I am making a difference in people's lives or making a contribution to people's lives, only then the element of fulfillment comes in. And fulfillment is the need of the soul. And I will simply request everybody, if you're not speaking, please put it on, put yourself on mute. Echo ho raha hai thoda sa. Yeah. Yes. So the point that I'm trying to make is here, अगर आप लाइफ में गोल्स को अचीव करने को ही सक्सेस मानते हो तो लुक एट वेदर यू आर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू पीपल्स लाइफ्स और नॉट. इफ इट इज ऑल अबाउट मी, इट विल नॉट गिव यू फुलफिलमेंट. अंदर से हॉलो लगेगा, खोखला लगेगा. लाइफ में फुलफिलमेंट चाहिए. You have to contribute to people's lives, and that's what Mayank ji has beautifully shared, that when he made a difference in people's lives and he could actually relate with it, he was fulfilled. जब आप फुलफिल्ड होते हो तो सोल की नीड पूरी हो जाती है, वरना सैलरी से तो सिर्फ आपकी बॉडी और माइंड की नीड पूरी हो रही है, सोल की नीड पूरी नहीं होती. That is why people do charity and contribute to people's life, because they are struggling for fulfillment. वो फुलफिलमेंट वाली फीलिंग ही नहीं आ रही है. तो अगर आपकी जॉब में अगर आपको सैलरी मिल रही है, बॉडी एंड माइंड की नीड पूरी हो गई, अगर आप कंट्रीब्यूट भी करने लग जाओ, कि कोई भी जॉब हो, चाहे एचआर में हो, अकाउंट्स में हो, सेल्स में हो, जो मर्जी हो, फैक्ट्री में ही क्यों ना हो, लोगों के लाइफ को अगर आप इम्पैक्ट कर रहे हो, उनको कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हो, इट इज अ ह्यूज सेंस ऑफ फुलफिलमेंट, एंड दैट विल टेक यू थ्रू any kind of stress को you can it will blast it off. And that is exactly what I got from your sharing, sir. So that was really good, powerful, very good. Thank you. Yes, anybody else who wants to share?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can I come again?
Yeah, sure.
Come in again, because I just got a pointer from what Mr. Mayank just shared. Probably I did not have words. Maybe it just the eureka moment just came in. As he said, when as you said, the sense of fulfillment came in when you started giving back to society. So exactly all this while the hit, for my mind, and the kick was coming in when I was having my academic pursuits here and there. My salary was there. My academic accolades were there. But this particular year, maybe this extra time on my hands, the traveling time was reduced when I started giving back. Not the education which I specialize in, but something which I was passionate about. Free workshops I did. And those lines, those responses which I got from the participants out there, some of them were students, some of them are friends, acquaintances. I think those were such big mood boosters, uplifters. And now I feel, anything low phase, when you make a difference to somebody's life, probably that is what fulfillment is all about. And then no amount of stress can touch you ever and ever, I believe. So
Absolutely.
I think, I think I felt that during this 1 year phase, majorly.
Absolutely great. Perfect, Nidhi. That is a wonderful experience of what I was just sharing. Yes, Sanjeev, you want to share something?
So interestingly, what Mayank and Nidhi just shared, I would like to share one thing about myself, that I actually, while working the way what just Nidhi also shared, I created stress for myself. Now, what I mean by that, I would like to say, like this pandemic time, a lot of people were helping people with oxygen and all sort of things what they can do. I started thinking, man, I am not doing anything at that level. Well, I thought I'm not doing at that level. That became a stress for me. And Shashi, I didn't share that with you. It took me 2 weeks, approximately 2 weeks, to get up that stress to realize, boss, I don't need to contribute at the same level which I'm seeing somebody else contributing. I need to contribute something at my level, what I can contribute, rather than copying somebody and doing that. And that's where I would like to tell many of us out here that many times कुछ stress होता नहीं, हम लोग जानबूझकर ले लेते हैं.
That's great, Sanjeev.
Absolutely, and, sir. Absolutely.
Yes. So Sanjeev, that was absolutely great sharing. And let me tell you, when you talked of supplying oxygen to people, Amitji has been running around for, I think, some 30-40 days. He has been doing that, right? And then if I look at that, even I have not been doing that. But then if I talk about my healers group, so Smriti ji, Preeti is there, and there we have been healing people like crazy. There was such a huge spurt of requirements. In fact, yesterday also I was talking to Preeti ji for that. There's a huge spurt of requirements. People are in hospital. They were struggling for hospitals, then getting admitted into hospital. Then they went on ventilators. Then they are, of course, some of them also left their body and moved on. That is their journey. But there was such a huge requirement for healing to be done. And when we did that, and when people thanked us, like they healed and come back home, that was such a huge fulfillment, like actually contributing to people's lives, getting them back from the ventilator and back home. So you can contribute in whichever way you want to people, but as long as you are seeing them smile, as long as you can bring a smile on their face, As long as you can see that they are showing gratitude to you in their eyes, the job is done. Your soul is fulfilled. Now no stress can touch you, guaranteed. So look at those opportunities. Don't miss an opportunity to contribute to people's life. And that is the Guru mantra, to keep yourself absolutely charged at the highest point of your life. Right? Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing up this discussion on. A lot of things are opening up for me now. Right? Okay, great. All right. Who else wants to share? Meanwhile, there have been some. I think Vandana ji has not been introduced. Vandana ji को किसने बुलाया है? Anybody who has invited Vandana ji? Vandana ji, if you're there, if you can introduce yourself, because I've not been able to connect to you. Okay, she may not be there right now, so she will join whenever she wants. Okay, fine. Okay, so who else wants to share? Anybody who wants to share? जिसने अभी तक share नहीं किया है, अगर कुछ बताना चाहेंगे, because we are just completed our scheduled time. So before winding up, I would invite somebody who has not spoken till now. शेयर करना चाहेंगे आप तो आप बता सकते हैं. Yeah, प्रीति जी, रेखा जी, anybody who wants to share. Kavan, anything you want to share? Harji, if you're there, and Nitesh, Goldie, so many people are there. Kirti, somebody wants to share something before we wind up. How was the session? You can share that. Yes, Preeti ji, go ahead.
But yeah, I was a fashion designer, working as a fashion designer from I think 14 years. I was working in that field. But 2 years back, due to some medical conditions, I had to wind up my. But this during this pandemic boosted my spiritual journey. अंदर से हुआ कि नहीं, I need to learn healing, and which in some way or the other I contributed that to the society, which gave so much of fulfillment in my life कि अब I am at peace. मुझे लगता है कि this is the most peaceful time in my entire life which I am going through. These 2 years after learning healings from you, how to heal people or contribute to somebody's life, this is the best period of my life.
Absolutely brilliant, Preeti ji. And now you can do anything that you want to do in your life. You are already a qualified healer with superb divine intuition powers, I will tell you that. So you don't have to worry for how you're going to contribute to people. Now people are going to find you. Okay. So
and
people
I
are
want
going
to do this only
you.
Throughout my life. I'm happy doing this, and it gives me sense of fulfillment.
Absolutely great. Wonderful, wonderful. That's
Shashi,
brilliant.
do you observe the rate of speech she's speaking, the peace she has in her speech? Can you relate to that?
Absolutely. Absolutely perfect. All right, good. So that was a wonderful discussion. Before we wind up, I'll just summarize the whole thing. So when we are talking of stress and is a function of what you said, what is happening in the outside world. उस पे हमारा कंट्रोल नहीं है, उसको वहीं रहने दीजिए, उसको कुछ भी चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अपने इनसाइड वर्ल्ड को इतना स्ट्रांग बना लीजिए कि बाहर की दुनिया आपको हिला ना सके. And then whatever you are doing with blessings of the divine, do as per your guidance, whatever intuition comes to you, and you will always make a huge contribution to people and make a huge difference in your own life. So if you want to be successful in life, the only Guru mantra is maintaining your emotional balance. That is the key to work in life, to be successful in life, and to be fulfilled in life. Whichever area you are working, किसी भी फील्ड में हो, अगर आप ये बेसिक्स अगर आपके अभी सही हैं, तो आपको कभी भी stress beyond the limit nahi aayega. And if stress is in place, if you can, some stress is important because that will keep you on, right? Kuch to stress chahiye, because the stress response is not bad. Stress response actually is important to keep you alive. Just to tell you, stress response kya hota hai? Stress response, basic stress response of a body is fight and flight, and which is required for survival. अगर आप जंगल में जा रहे हैं और आपके पीछे शेर पड़ गया है, तो आपको स्ट्रेस रिस्पॉन्स चाहिए भागने के लिए. हाँ, लड़ेंगे तो नहीं शेर से, भागना है ना. तो फ्लाइट रिस्पॉन्स के लिए भी आपकी बॉडी में इतनी एनर्जी या ताकत आनी चाहिए. वो आएगा आपके जब एड्रेनल ग्लैंड आपके पंप करेंगे एड्रेनल, यू विल हैव द स्ट्रेंथ टू रन फास्टर. सो इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर सर्वाइवल. ओनली थिंग इज जब फाइट और फ्लाइट नहीं हो रहा है एंड यू गेट इनटू ए स्टक स्टेट, that is when the stress response becomes dangerous. So now last 15 months people are under stress and they can't run away and they can't fight an invisible enemy. So they are in a stuck state, and that is where it is creating problem. Now toxins are generated in your body, and if you cannot remove those toxins from the body by cleansing, by different techniques of stress busters, then you are in deep trouble. And that is why this whole concept of emotional well-being. So if your emotional well-being is perfect, and if you are adverse, if you talk of emotional intelligence, so emotional intelligence सही है, आपका adversity quotient जो है EQ के साथ अगर वो सही है, which is bouncing back from a setback, then your spirituality quotient is very high. And spirituality quotient is high, you are moving forward on the spiritual journey and making a huge contribution to people and making your life successful. So that is the Guru Mantra of life, and that is the Guru Mantra of this session, right? So with this, we come to the end of the session. Any last and final call for questions? Anybody who wants to share something or ask any question? Anji Amit.
No, I think after the questions, I wanted 10, 20 seconds to thank everybody who came in today. Mayank, Sushri, Garima, my ma, Pushpa, and I think, yeah, these are pretty much. So thank you very much. And I want to tell you that this group, I think we reached, we were about 20 people, and out of which 10 are the regular people who keep attending, and we have become like a soul family where we share a lot of things that we do not land up sharing with our own families, particularly. And I found this group about 3 months back, and I have become such an integral part. Every Wednesday, like every Thursday onwards, I look forward for the Wednesday evening 8 p.m. Yeah. And so a lot of people come and they continue, do not continue, that is secondary. But I think abhi to bahut logon ne baat nahi kari. Preeti ji has not spoken much. Kavan bhai has not spoken at all today. But when we have a smaller group of about 10, 12 people, we speak and we speak our heart out. And it also goes in various different tangents. We talk about energies, the components of soul, the healing around Reiki and whatnot. So it's an amazing zone. So thank you very much for coming. I hope you liked it. And if you want to join again next week, please let me know. Yeah.
Once
That's
again,
it.
welcome to, thank you to all the guests who came in for the session, and thank you for all the participants who made a huge contribution in my life in this session. So thank you very much. Enjoy a great day, enjoy a great week, enjoy a great life. And let's meet again next Wednesday, same time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.